Daniel.
Hey,
How are you?
honey.
Great to see you.
Wonderful. It's good to see you
And
too.
thank you. And here we are talking about one of our favorite things. Certainly, I think your favorite thing, um, hands down, right?
Hands down, totally. Love of my
Right.
life.
Eurovision 2023. Here we are. And let's get started. Let's get
Yes,
started. All
it's
right.
so
So,
exciting.
yeah, it is exciting. It's good to see you. We haven't seen each other since Berlin. There was no
Yeah,
Eurovision event in Berlin, but I was there and you lived there and we got together and that was awesome. And we showed off our nail polish, compared our colors. And so we have Eurovision coming up.
yes.
What can you tell us?
Oh my God. First of all, honey, when you were in Berlin, you were the event. We don't need any other events when you are in Berlin. Second, and now let's talk about Eurovision. It's coming up in really a matter of a few weeks. Eurovision season is at its peak right now, or at least building right into that peak. That peak will be in Liverpool this year. You can see
How do we,
behind me the
yeah.
the slogan "United by Music" and the logo, this marvelous heart theme thing. So it's going to be on as always, two semifinals, and the final 9th and 11th of May will be the semifinal. 13th of May will be the grand final, and then we will know where are we heading next year, hopefully. It's going to be at the Liverpool Arena in Liverpool, of course, the United Kingdom. Although in the logo here, sorry, on the other side, you see the Ukrainian flag. This is because Ukraine won last year, and it's the first time in 40 years, more than 40 years actually, um, that the country that is winning is not hosting the year after. This is, of course, due to the unfortunate circumstances that there is still a war in Ukraine, and Ukraine has to address much more important thing, has to address life itself and take care of life itself. As much as they want to have Eurovision as their own like victory moment, unfortunately, they can't do that right now in terms of resources. Therefore, the UK, fittingly enough, got second last year in their best result in years and years and years. Ushered in. It's not the first time that the UK has have ushered in to host on behalf or instead. But this year, it's going to be a co-production of the BBC and the Ukrainian public broadcaster. Really a joint cooperation. It comes in
Mm-hmm.
many, many, many aspects in terms of the
Right.
content, in terms of the logo, and even in terms of the hosts. So although Ukraine won in the highest amount of points given from the public as a huge endorsement and support from the public of Europe to a country that is still torn by war. Um, as part of the support, UK, who has been one of the biggest activist nations in Europe for Ukraine and for the situation that's going on there, they are hosting it on their behalf, and they're hosting a Ukrainian party, basically. It comes also in terms of the hosts and in many, many other stuff, and many, many other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we went from Turin to Liverpool. That's what we've done in a year. And there are some changes this year, as far as I know, both with voting. It's, it's not a surprise, but it's definitely something different. Can you tell us about that?
No, actually, it is a surprise because no one really expected that in the Eurovision world. Two major, major changes. The main one is that ever since 2008, the juries were a part of the voting in the semifinals, and they sort of balanced the public vote in terms of um, countries giving votes to each other and giving songs that are less gimmicky or less radio friendly or less grand and less Eurovision, so to speak. Giving that the jurors gave those ones the endorsement and gave more, in my opinion, a bit more credibility to the contest in the last decade and a half. So this year, there will be no jury points in the semifinals. So the 10 qualifying nations from every semifinal, that means 20 out of the 26 countries, 20, because 6 of them are qualifying automatically to the final. We can talk about that a bit later. They will be set by the public only. That means we will not see anymore in the semifinals things that happened last year when Azerbaijan got 100 points from the jury points and 0 points from the public. Therefore, they qualified from the 9th or 10th place.
Right. So the people will get a chance to speak.
Yes,
and only the people.
The public vote will get a lot more significance.
Right. Now you mentioned there's another change.
It's important to say about that in the final it will stay the same. There will still be 50-50 with the public and the jury. The jurors will be back for the final. And that maybe brings me to the second change. That is maybe not that important in terms of how how it will affect the outcome. However, it is a wonderful thing. Eurovision, like evolution, like an evolution, if you don't adapt, you perish. And Eurovision being such a global phenomenon with being broadcasted or exposure in 160 territories all over the world, not only Europe, not only
That's amazing, right.
And having, depends on the year, but between 150 to 200 million people watching the Eurovision every year. So it is a massive, massive global event that brings eyes from all over. So this year, also, if you are not from a participating country, you can vote. You can cast your vote through the Eurovision website. All the system will probably identify the IP address that you are voting from. Therefore, they will know if you are from a participating country or not. And if you are not from a participating country, you can still vote. And all the votes from all over the world, from the non-participating countries, will be collected and calculated to be an extra country, an extra rest of the world country.
Rest of the world.
So they will not have a jury, obviously. However, it will have a vote so all the world, no matter if you are from the US, Canada, South Africa, Asia, South America, no matter where, you can still be a part. So stay tuned for this year's Eurovision. ESC.vote is the website that you can vote with.
And
it's going to be amazing.
That sounds amazing. And for viewers and listeners who want to stay up to date with all the Eurovision news, where should they go?
They should, of course, the Pink Times. Stay informed, stay connected. We're here. We will be here until the last reprise of the winning song on the 13th of May, or let's say early night of the 14th in Liverpool. And then we will be there all along to build you up, to give you all the information, and to be there also for the red carpet and over there in Liverpool itself. And so stay tuned with us in all social platforms, wherever you are, whenever you get your information from. If it's Twitter, if it's Instagram,
YouTube.
if it's Facebook, YouTube, wherever.
Right.
And also something that we didn't talk about early favorites if we want to talk about.
We did not talk about early favorites. I was going to ask you. I know there are several that are very advertising, and that's not the right word, but promoting themselves aggressively that are already looking very likely. Can you give us a few of those?
Sure. The main early favorite is Loreen. She is, for the last 10 years, she was voted the best Eurovision song of all times on a yearly basis. She won in 2012. So 11 years ago in Baku, Azerbaijan, she won with a song called Euphoria that you probably know, even if you don't know that it came from Eurovision.
And she's from
Um,
Sweden,
and she's
correct?
from Sweden, yes. So she's coming back. And she is heavily tipped to win again. And if she will be the second singer ever and the first female singer ever who will win twice in Eurovision. And
Okay, give us another two, Daniel.
another
Who
two.
else? Who else are you? Yeah, another two favorites. Who else do you have your eye on or your ear on?
Um, the bookings say also, except Sweden, that we can expect very, very big things from because it is going to be epic. Um, Finland goes sort of against all the things that you expect of a Eurovision song. It's rap, it's intense, it's in
Is this Cha
Finnish.
Cha Cha?
It's called Cha Cha Cha. Yes. If I forgot to say, the song of Loreen is called Tattoo this year, not Euphoria. Um, Back to the Finnish stuff. It's called Cha Cha Cha. It is intense, but you can't stay unopinionated about it. It's like cilantro. It's either you really really love it or you really really can't stand it. And since we're going to have a lot of more public influence on the results this year, then it might also get really really good results. Maybe even the best one since their win in 2006. However, we will have to see that because Loreen is really, really, really strong. Except that we have also, of course, Ukraine. That is still because of the so-called sympathy vote. Might get high, but the song is not very overwhelming. So it might get high, but maybe not win. But still, it's about third or fourth in the booking, except that we have Norway and Israel and the UK and Spain and Italy. But mainly the talk is about those three: Sweden, Finland, and Ukraine. Probably
Okay.
the win will come from those two countries, but anything can happen in the Eurovision Song Contest. And once we will be exposed to the rehearsals uh, early May, like the first days of May or last days of April, we will hopefully see a lot of changes in the bookies, and it will be very, very interesting.
Yeah. Well, it sounds interesting. I love the new approach to voting. I love that people from all over the world can get their vote in and get heard, get counted. That is really, really, really awesome. And thank you, of course, to Liverpool for stepping in and agreeing to host. So it tells me that what Eurovision stands for is continuing to march to that tune of uniting people exactly with hearts and with beautiful color and most importantly beautiful music. So everybody stay tuned. We will be back in about a week, I think. I hope, Daniel.
We will see you all very, very soon.
We'll
You
see you
will
all
not
very
be
soon.
able to get rid of us until mid-May.
Right. But check us out on all the social networks and platforms that you like and stay informed, stay connected. See you soon.
See you. Bye.